What's up, guys? You know the drill. Whoever's in here, let's give me a sound check. Go ahead and put in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. As soon as we can really determine that you guys can hear me, we'll get started. Got a fun episode tonight. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Oh, Gideon can hear. So can the traveling hatter, Wilfredo Gomez. I like that name. All right, everybody can hear me. First things first, guys, I have to get the requisite happy Veterans Day to all you ladies and gentlemen that have served this wonderful country of ours. We have plenty of problems, but this is truly one of the greatest nations on earth. And for all those of you that have served it, I thank you. And go Navy. It's also, guys, if you didn't know, which if you have a social media, you have to know, it's the Marine Corps birthday. None of them will be on here because they're all out getting drunk. So happy Marine Corps birthday to my United States Marine Corps brothers. I actually served on a ship that's part of what they call the Gator Navy. And basically, what that means is there were 315 sailors and 550 Marines with their tanks, helicopters, all that good stuff. Think of storming a beach. My ship would help Marines storm beaches. So I served with a bunch of Marines. I worked a lot of details, like as a junior sailor with a bunch of Marines, and went on Liberty in Europe with a bunch of Marines. And I do have some really funny Marine stories. I don't know if they're YouTube appropriate, but maybe one day we'll do a live where we can kind of tell those types of stories because they get really, really funny because Marines are very, very special individuals. John says beer and crayons. Absolutely. The joke is, guys, Marines eat crayons. Whether you call them crowns or crayons, whatever, they are the special kids in class when everybody is kind of paying attention to the teacher, and that one kid is in the back eating crayons. That kid will be a Marine. Nothing wrong with that. We need those guys. Love the Marines. What's up, Chad's Money Minutes? PM, what's up? Thomas Johnson, Danny Boy, Jacobs, Points and Profit. Well, we got a lot of people in here. Okay, so with that out of the way, guys, like I said, if you weren't in here, happy Veterans Day to all those that have served this wonderful country, and especially you guys that do travel outside this country. There's a lot of great places to visit, but I'm willing to bet a lot of you feel really good when you get home, despite all our issues. All right. Go ask the colonel with the PA-11. So yeah, they lost it. So we got Dugras reports. Dugras here. Yeah, Dugras. I just watched your driving video with your unpopular credit card videos. I loved Chad's Money Minutes unpopular credit cards views, and I loved Dugras reports unpopular credit card opinions. I think I'm going to steal it, guys. I think I'm just going to piggyback off you because I do have a lot of unpopular opinions. And the best part is when you do have those unpopular opinions, it really generates some engagement. So love those videos, both of you guys. Dugras, I watched yours today. Really liked it. But today, we are doing a very special Veterans Day question and answer live stream. Now, I want to change this up just a little bit because I want to prioritize the guys in here. So I'm going to answer all the questions that were in the community post, but I don't want to skip over any of your questions here we have in here. Dugras says, thanks for the mention. Yes, sir. If you guys don't know, Dugras has a great channel. It's really unique, not unique perspective, but a different perspective from the glam and glitz. It's really a salt of the earth, everyman channel, and it's really good. Michael Williams is Fairborn, Ohio here, right next to the Air Force Base, right? Happy Veterans Day. Thank you, Michael Williams. And John Corbett says the unpopular opinions are fun to watch. And we all have unpopular opinions. So what I want to say was, if you guys have questions, I will make sure they get answered as a priority since you're here. And I do have some time tonight, so maybe we're going to go over a little bit longer than we normally do. I don't have to go to bed early tonight. So let me get started. Now, these questions that are left on the community post, I don't rehearse them. I don't answer them in my head before the show. I do kind of go over them and like the question, and just to make sure it's an appropriate question. But don't worry, I have a really um, unique ability to turn my brain off and not answer the question in my head. So the first one we have is from Slick828. Do you think cashback cards would be better than travel cards if they offered similar sign up bonus levels and related perks? Better, I don't know if I would say better. They're still going to be different. The folks that love travel cards are a lot less um, into cashback cards. I don't think the same thing is true for Team Cashback. I think Team Cashback can still be interested in travel, but the folks that are into travel are, if you haven't noticed, they're pretty enthusiastic about travel to a fault most of the time. Most of us that are into travel, we do indulge and we do spend quite a bit of money. Um, Even when we think we're not, we think we're traveling for free. We're not. But really good question. But no, I don't think the cashback cards would be better. Now, if we're saying that if you gave me a Wells Fargo autograph, that's not a very good example. But if you gave me a US Bank Cash Plus card that had a $750 bonus, would that change? I don't know. I think the folks that are into cashback, they're maybe accustomed to the lesser bonuses. But if you were given $500 and $750 cash back, yeah, I think I might get that might get some more eyeballs on your cards. Keith S says the Ink Premier offers $1,000 cash back. That's a great point, Keith. I mean, and nobody wants it. I mean, a matter of fact, that's you haven't. I don't know if you've ever heard a YouTuber or any person from even any commenter say anything positive about the Ink Premier. Most people say everything except for the Ink Premier, and that's $1,000 cash back. That's a big leaguer, but there is an annual fee, like Keith says. Dugras here says, "What is the biggest gaffe or mistake or card you regret getting in this game?" I did a video on cards that I regret, but I will say that the one that stands out, it just constantly stands out in my brain for a few different reasons, is the BlockFi. Is the crypto, it earned Bitcoin, BlockFi Visa. And I'm really open-minded when it comes to cryptocurrency and crypto assets and things like that. And I wouldn't say I got swept away with it, but I did think it might be a good idea to, passively earn some Bitcoin. And if those of you don't know, BlockFi went bankrupt, and crypto had a really rough 18 months where a lot of places went under for a lot of very bad reasons. And I canceled that card. I only had it about a year. So that one, and that was a time when it was a significant point in my credit card journey that put me over 524 for a fairly long time. So yeah, I definitely regret getting the BlockFi Visa, and I think I fell for a little bit of influence on YouTube, and I definitely got swept up a little bit in the cryptocurrency earnings. Um, I'm not anti-cryptocurrency at all, but I'm definitely not interested in really learning anything more about it. What else we have here? The Traveling Hatter. He says cashback tends to be quick, while travel points is a longer game. That's a really good way to look at it. Now, the people who do cashback to invest it and to make that a longer game, I can understand that. To me, it's just not all that it's not all that rewarding and exciting. And at the end of the day, this is how I think about it. I can work more jobs or I can generate more income, but I can't go fly business class on Singapore Airlines through my effort, besides with points, because I wouldn't spend that much money on that. I like to do things that I shouldn't afford. I don't know if I can't because obviously I have money, but I don't. I want to do things that people like me don't normally get a chance to do. So I'm more attracted to the travel cards. Love cash back though. Ezra G can confirm that some more people in the Facebook groups showed proof that they received a credit for purchasing a gift card at a qualified Hilton resort. Not sure if that works at all resorts. That's a thank you, Ezra. Everybody had a question where for the Hilton Surpass, how you get the $50 credit per quarter. A lot of folks are not staying at Hilton's every quarter. And if they, some of them, if they are, they're not spending that much money. They're using award travel and things like that. But Ezra is saying that there are reports that purchasing a Hilton gift card at a Hilton resort will result in getting that credit. If that's true, I think we need to get together a list of where we can go do this. I don't have the Surpass card right now, but I think it's a great idea to use that technique for sure. The traveling hatter, BlockFi burned him also. He lost some money. Yeah, BlockFi really turned me off of the entire crypto scene just because there were that many bad players in that. Ezra also says that he can confirm more people have tried calling and receiving IHG Diamond status while also purchasing Ambassador. I have heard this as well. Um, they all had Platinum, um, but if you're not familiar with IHG, they have a significantly higher level of status called Ambassador status. And that really gives you a lot of benefits when you're staying at Intercontinentals, but it costs money every year. But folks are reporting that when they purchase Ambassador status, they're also getting Diamond status, which gives you a lot of benefits. And most of these people already have Platinum status, which is pretty good. Thank you, Ezra. We appreciate all the data points. And I think everybody in here can say thank you for that bit of information. It's awesome. Chad says he just did the gift card purchase online and it worked. Chad, where did you purchase it? Is it Hilton.com or a specific hotel website? That's really interesting if you can do it online because driving, and I don't have a Hilton resort anywhere near me. But that's awesome if you can do it online. Ezra says resort credit on the Aspire. So the Surpass, the $50 quarterly credit is good at Hilton's, whereas the Aspire is good at Hilton resorts, I think. And I could be wrong. And I think they just changed the Aspire to any Hilton as well. Sorry if I confused anybody. But Chad, if you can clarify, maybe give us a hint what website you used, if it was just Hilton.com or if it was something specific. And we'll also get Phil Mo 78, just leaving the 524 gardening phase. And he says he's underwhelmed by chase cards. Me too. Great for bonuses, not much as earners, unless you want to buy Staples gift cards. Correct. What is your long-term chase plan? I'm grabbing as many bonuses as they will let me and leaving them in the rear view. Well, my long-term chase plan is a little bit up in the air. I like the chase cards, but like you said, they're not huge earners. And I don't know how many more ink cards I can get before Chase says, hey, man, knock it down. But my long-term chase strategy, I have a decision to make in April. And I've talked about this a couple times. I have the Ink Preferred, which gives me the transfer partners, and I like the card. I just renewed it, so I am going to stick with that for a while. But I also have the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and in April, that annual fee posts. Now, I have to make a decision whether I'm going to downgrade that to a Freedom. And my problem with the Freedom is not the rotating categories, it's the cap. The $1,500 cap, it makes it an okay card, but that cap doesn't help me a whole lot. I want to be able to spend on it. But my other option is I'm considering upgrading the card to a Chase Sapphire Reserve. Now, if that happens, obviously it gives me a very large $550 annual fee plus the additional for the authorized user for my wife. That will change things as far as my overall credit card portfolio, because what that will do is that will give me some incentive to think about um, kind of shrinking my Amex exposure. So I almost am thinking about going the CSR route for a year and maybe going downgrading the platinum to the green for a year just to try it out. Something I've been thinking on. So, short answer to your question about my long term Chase strategy, Chase is probably my third uh, credit card issuer, third preferred credit card issuer. I have the most Chase cards than any issuer, but they're third in my preferred credit cards. So they get the third most thought. So really haven't thought about it just yet. But great question. Let me. Juan Garcia says, looks like you can upgrade Hyatt Award booking from standard room to suites online. That's good. That's really good. Um, okay, Chad's going to park. He's picking up. He's doing some family stuff. He's the guy who he has the big time Tesla, so he's got the probably has the big display where he's big time in this right now driving that car. So when he parks and gets to a place where he can kind of give us some more insight, he will. Chad, if you have not watched Chad's Money Minutes YouTube channel, this dude he walks the walk and talks the talk. He does all the big league redemptions. He gets the cards. He does all the things we talk about. So if you haven't checked out his channel, which I'm sure almost all of you have, but if you haven't, give him a look. A lot of videos and a lot of interesting videos on things other people might not talk about. And like I said, the dude has the street cred. So check him out. Doug Williams says, why not keep the card for referrals? David William, I don't get a ton of referrals. I've said that before, and some people think that I'm swimming in rewards points and things like that from referrals. I don't get a ton of them. I used to get a lot of Amex referral points, but Amex took my referral codes away for the personal cards. That's just something they do. But um, maybe I should start concentrating more on advertising. That link in the description below. If you are looking for any cards, check it out. It's in there right now. But no, I don't get a ton of referrals. The one card I do keep for referrals is the Capital One Venture X, because you can get 100,000 Capital One miles with only 4 referrals. So that makes it worth keeping for me. Joe C, did you end up canceling your Delta Reserve? Yeah, Joe C, I canceled that one after the 1 year. Delta short version of that story is Delta did not offer me anything, and I was really low on trying to get Delta status. And here was a big part, maybe just impulsive or emotional on my part, but Delta canceled my summer vacation that year. So it wasn't this past summer, but the summer before. I had a week at an all-inclusive down in Cancun, and that was when Delta and maybe another airline had a meltdown, and I didn't get to go. So I was so mad about that. That really affected. I shouldn't use that as a factor to close or keep a card, but I really was down on airline status at that time. Speaking of airline status, I do have a video coming out this week about airline status. We may attempt to try that one more time. Dugras reports no platinum for a year. Thought that was your sweetheart. It is. It's the big daddy travel card of them all. But I'm willing to keep an open mind about that CSR. I can make money on that CSR from the Priority Pass restaurants. So, and I really like the idea of using a travel portal and getting 1.5x with my UR points um, for my flights in an attempt to maybe fly a certain airline a lot more frequently and maybe get some status that way, or at least help along the way. We'll see. If I do get rid of the platinum, like I said, I do think it's going to be for a year. But I'm not immune to American Express's annual fees. I don't make a ton of money, so when they start raising them again, that might be it for me. Keith S says he earned 550,000 MR points on his CI on his Chase Inc. preferred. So he probably earned 550,000 UR points on his Inc. preferred since July. Maxed out the bonus spend. It's all work spend. So Chase, yeah, Keith S is right. Chase has the king business cards. I love Chase business cards. Personal cards, I can honestly just completely do without them. Business cards, I really like them. Ezra G says rookie mistake when he booked hotels for the holidays. Make sure your fourth night with IHG or your fifth night with Hilton is the most expensive on points. That night will automatically be your free one. Yeah, are we sure about Hilton? I'm gonna take your word for it. I knew IHG that was the case. I wasn't sure about Hilton, but yeah, you're right. When you do these award bookings and you get the fourth or the fifth night free, play with that a little bit. Take some time and make sure you're getting your value because with both of those programs, that is where you're getting your value. Those fourth or fifth night award night free, you can really start killing it with that. But hey, sorry, Ezra. But hey, I'm sure you're going somewhere fun. Keith S says the Chase Inc. Freedom Card, double points for 12 months might make it one of the best consumer cards on the market. Here's where I'm going to disagree with you. He's referring to the Inc. Freedom that gets the Freedom Unlimited that gets 1.5x on everything, which makes it a terrible card. The Chase promotion is it gets double that for 12 months. Now, I want you to do the math and tell me how many dollars you're going to run through that card in a year. If you're going to put $25,000 through it, then yes, it's a great card. A lot of people are not going to put more than $5,000 or $10,000 on that card. Now, what's 1.5 with 10,000 miles? You're not getting a huge return. So I would say that there's a lot of cards that the bonus will beat that double miles in 1 year. Me personally, if I had the opportunity to get that card, I would get it. I would get it right now because I would run $40,000 through it, maybe. But I think it's like a lot of these cards. For some people, it's a really, really good grab, and for a lot of people, they didn't do the math. I think because there are no annual fee cards that have $500 bonus. I don't think you're going to get $500 bonus out of that extra 1.5x. A lot of people won't. I hope you will. Keith said, oh, yeah, Keith, back to the Venture X. The Capital One lounges, man, I will continue to sing their praises because I've been in both of them now, and I've been in both of them when I really needed them, if you guys know what I mean. And I don't know if I could put a price on that, man. Once was on the way back from Hawaii, an all-night flight with the boy and wife. Great place to great place to lay down for a little bit. And just coming back from Prague, I had 4 hours where I missed my flight and had a wonderful time in the Capital One Lounge. Apologies for my language. It's Veterans Day. Do I get one pass? One little pass? A lot of us cursed in the Navy. Alex Medrano heard from frequent miner that claiming you lost your Amex personal card and getting a new one can unlock your personal referrals. I think that's true, and I'm not like Mr. Goody Two Shoes, but I'm probably not going to do that because I didn't lose it. I don't have a problem with anybody doing that, but I don't think I will do that because, yeah, I mean it's not that big of a deal. But like I said, I probably won't do that. Ezra G says currently Amex is offering 50,000 point bonus for opening a bank account and making five. Yeah. I did that a while back. I want to say I got 60,000 for opening a business checking. I think I have a business checking and I have a personal savings. Keith S for the give me some money for the swear jar. Thank you, sir. We don't actually have a swear jar in my house, but YouTube will not like that kind of language, so I should pay something to make that hurt and not do that. I've actually been really good. I have like 350 videos and I've never cursed on here, so not bad. But like I said, it's Veterans Day. But I was a sailor, so Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it, man. Um, Gideon says, as someone who works for a U.S. airline, it's not worth the hassle for status to be. Now, listen, I don't want to get too much into it, but I totally, totally agree. Like I said, I've got a video coming out maybe Monday about airline status, and I will give you a sneak peek. I don't think airline status is worth it, but with a certain airline, I think that the game they have with their program is fun enough to play. I want to play. That's the hint I'll give you. Sub 2C says, Uncle Luke, I got approved for the Wells Fargo Reflect 0% balance transfer, 21 months. Got about 5K on his Amex card. Do you think it's a good idea? Here's let me tell you what I think about that. I think it's a great way to pay that debt down, but I want to go back to stop carrying credit card debt. Don't carry credit card debt. When back in when I was younger and I did have credit card debt, one technique I used was to transfer it to a 0% balance transfer card and paid it off. But I want you to be really $5,000 may or may not be a huge amount of money to you, but don't do that. Pay that down as aggressively as you can. In my opinion, don't pay it down in 21 months. I know a lot of people will argue that you have 21 months of 0%, use it all. Here's my opinion, and I do like Dave Ramsey's stuff. Uh, Pay it down aggressively and never go back to carrying credit card debt. It's never, ever going to be optimal for any of us in the rewards game or cash back game to ever pay interest. It just won't make sense. So, yeah, I think it's great. You got the card, pay it down aggressively and get rid of it and don't look back and never, ever carry any more debt on your credit cards. Yeah, the Platinum OG says the same thing. Yeah, pay it off aggressively. Me and the Platinum OG we're just like this. We're brothers. Uh, Yang, thanks for the pass. Ricardo Torres, what do you think Amex considers high spend on their cards? Listen, here's your question. For Amex, high spend it means something other than us normal people. I don't think pushing $100,000 through your Amex cards equals high spend to them. I think pushing hundreds of thousands of dollars through Amex cards is high spend for them. I don't know what the threshold is, but it's not what Amex caters to high earners. Now, with this said, I have pushed $100,000 a year through American Express cards, and I have been treated very well by them, staying out of pop-up jail for the most part and not having some of the issues some other people have. So I think maybe that's the threshold right around there. But I think you have to really push that spend for American Express to even really be a blip on the radar for them. Rizwan says he's honored to hear me swear well just once. Well, I apologize. That was a bad one. That was the granddaddy of curse words. Sorry. Um, the Platinum OG says, how does CDW work if my wife also wants to drive the rental car? Now, I'm going to preface this answer with I'm not an expert because I don't rent cars. But if you have really if you have insurance through your credit card, you depending on who's renting it, they have the same insurance as you do. When you rent a car, it says, is anyone else going to be driving this? And you put your wife. So you'll both be covered in the same fashion. So if you have a card like the Venture X or the CSR or CSP, and you have primary insurance, when you rent the car, you put the other person that's going to be driving it. From what I understand, they are also covered. Now, like I said, I don't rent cars, so I haven't actually sat down and ran through those terms and conditions. So I would say there might be other people that can better answer that for you. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm out of my kind of comfort zone there because, like I said, I don't normally rent cars. All right. John agrees carrying credit card debt really negates any gains, and we're all on the same page there. At the same time, we were all, well, not all of us, but a lot of us were in spots before where we did have that debt, and we won't. kind of harp on it. So, I think the guy understands. Get rid of that debt. I wonder if Uncle Luke sweared at Adam and his badass kids. Adam has not been here as far as I know. Adam, I don't know if you saw the video where I kind of talked about what Adam did and what Adam said, but he kind of announced his departure and he's been gone. So, you know, hope he's watching somebody else's channel and taking his little nasty kids all around airports. But bless you, Adam. Adam J. We have here Professor X says, "Hello, Mr. Luke. Love the channel. Hope all is well with the live stream." Thank you, Professor X. I really like doing the live streams, and I wish I had more time to do them, and I wish I could find the day and night I want to do it. But really like doing them. I want to continue doing them fairly frequently. SoCal Skater, man, I love the whole skateboard. Obviously, I'm too old to skateboard, but I love the culture. What's your opinion on the pay over time option with just a fixed fee for large purchase? I don't do it. I've never done it. When American Express was offering free points for signing up for pay over time, I would sign up for it and then a month later take it off my cards. I don't do it. I don't. To me, that's a slippery slope. And once you're comfortable carrying consumer debt, I think you start getting into some easier paths toward not a great time. So I don't use pay over time. I don't use any of that stuff. Every single one of my consumer cards is paid off probably weekly. I will carry a 0% business balance on a business card for a little bit, but even then I usually end up paying it off when I can. But the business 0% makes a little more sense if what you're purchasing generates an income. David William, I don't rent cars when I go anywhere. I Uber, I Lyft. I take what do you call it? Like paid tours and where they pick you up. I generally do not. Now I have a couple times, but if I can help it, I don't rent cars. Neither does the Platinum OG, but he's going to Kauai. Now here you're going to Kauai. Okay, so when we went to Hawaii, my wife rented a car from a local place. It was probably about 25% of the cost as anything you would book prior to getting there, like your major chains. So when you go to Hawaii and the different islands there, they will have local places you can rent cars for much cheaper. And that's what I would recommend. That's what we did. And it was exponentially cheaper than any mainstream car rental place. Are there any drawbacks to that? I don't know. Maybe I got lucky and didn't see any drawbacks. James QB. Do you think I should get the autograph card next year or go for here's man, that autograph card is my autograph card was changed over from a Propel card, which was one of my first rewards cards. But I think we're all on pins and needles waiting for the 15th to see what Wells Fargo does for transfer partners. If Wells Fargo even has 5 good transfer partners, that autograph card is big league. Right now they have a $300 bonus. So I don't know. Depending on your situation, is it a card I recommend? If you don't like paying annual fees, I think it's a great card. Absolutely. I got laws. Rizwan Khan, getting annual fees waived for active duty is good. Is it the same for the reserve? Yeah, Chase will waive your annual fees if you're active duty military. Adam's a legend. Adam and his kids are legends. Joe C says, keep creating. He'll keep watching them. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Chad said it won't let him share the link. Yeah, I don't think it'll show up on here. They usually won't let you link anything in these kind of chats. YouTube is really weird about even on my channel, even comments that have links or mention certain things don't show up. Mango Lloyd, Mr. Luke, I have a couple of questions. Firstly, are you circumcised? Absolutely. I think when I was born in the 70s, they just did that. I know recently they've had some debates on whether it's necessary or if it's just for aesthetics, but yeah, I am. Really weird question, but okay. I don't know if I've ever been asked that. Oh well. The traveling hatter got the Hilton Aspire card and am now officially drunk with power. Do I think IHG is a good plan B for earning travel rewards? 100%. Big time fan of the Aspire, and I am starting more and more to be a fan of IHG, especially for your simple trips, your simple stays. But I am going to try some intercontinentals and some higher end stuff because I want to see where that is. Mango Lloyd wants to know which I prefer. I don't care, man. I'm not a I don't know how I would never know either way. So I can't prefer one or the other because I've just always been the same. So uh, yeah, James UQB says Mango, stop. You're weird. Oh, Keith, thank you, sir, for the super thanks. What's your prediction for Wells Fargo transfer partners? Okay, I'm at the expense of I want to be really hopeful. If I'm extremely optimistic, my prediction will be the same as Built rewards. I don't think that's going to happen. If I'm going to be, and I'll get super optimistic right in the middle and pessimistic. Here's my middle thing: 8 transfer partners that are going to be very useful, and I'm talking about your British Airways, um, your Air France, Virgin, your very common stuff. And I think maybe a hotel or two, but I'm really not optimistic on the hotel part of it. I think it might be Choice and Wyndham, something like that. Now, here's my pessimistic view: we're going to get travel partners and we're going to get transfer partners, but they're not going to be one to one. They're going to be something like zero point 0.5 to 1 or 1 to zero point 0.5 or 1 to 0.75. And I really do think if Wells does that, the general reaction from the community will be really loud and really negative. I hope they don't do that fractional transfer stuff. If they do, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just nobody's going to be a fan of it. So, like I said, I think 8 solid transfer partners that are useful to people, and it'd probably be the more common ones. Maybe more, but 8 actual partners that we will use. So I'm fairly optimistic, I think. Travis, the Lionheart, happy Veterans Day, Luke. What would you say is your favorite and least favorite part of being a credit card YouTuber? Favorite part is this is all right. Corny alert. This is going to sound corny to a lot of you guys, but this is my favorite part. Sometimes I'll get a DM on Instagram and it will say something like this. There's two kind of messages that I get that are my favorite part of being a credit card YouTuber. One is, Luke, I just took my wife to Paris on Air France business class, and I would never be able to do that if I hadn't watched this video or learned this from guys like you. And my wife really appreciated it. She deserves it, and it made me feel like a big time husband. That's the number one message I get. That's awesome. The second one, which is just as good, is the guy who has a normal job, probably busts his butt all week long, and has never really been able to take his family on vacation without the stress, without bringing home the souvenirs of debt or just being a huge pain in the butt. This is a guy who has a basic setup, and he tells me, "Hey, for the first time in a long time, I took my wife and 2 kids to Virginia Beach for a week, and we loved it. We stayed at the Holiday Inn. We flew Southwest there. So a real basic, but really cool thing for them to do. And I think a lot of us started out that way. But that message, those 2 messages are my favorite things because these guys are sharing this with their family and they're being, it's really cool. It's really, really worst thing about being a credit card YouTuber. I see. I don't. Am I a credit card YouTuber? If you, I guess, if you say I am, I the worst thing, and I don't think any of it's bad. I don't because this is not bad. But the worst. Here's the thing: the worst part about being a credit card YouTuber is being called a YouTuber. Like the people in my social circle, I don't tell people I make YouTube videos, but it seems like the people in my social circle like to say, "Well, he makes YouTube videos," and you can just see that people go, "Ugh." So that's the worst part. The work stuff like that. I'm going to be working no matter what. So as far as work goes, this is pretty chill work. So I like the extra work. But that's the and if I can be a little controversial, one thing about being a credit card YouTuber is watching some other credit card YouTube videos and realizing that this person is just reading off the board. And I don't mean technically, I mean that they're just reading the stat sheet of a credit card that they've never used. And they're talking about benefits and redemptions that they'll never ever execute. Sorry, little controversial, not talking about anybody in particular, but when you live this way and you do these things and you walk the walk, you can see right through some of these guys. I'll probably regret saying that. Um, Tanahim, is that how you say your name? Haig or Hack? Uncle Luke, thank you for your service to the country and now the credit card community. Love your channel. So I appreciate it. Even if I can't pronounce your name, I appreciate what you're typing there. Ricardo Torres. Do you know if I spend 75K on my platinum for the 2 free guest passes, does my authorized user also no, I don't think they'll give you 4 free passes. No, you'll get 2 free passes. Um, I don't know if I recommend doing that, but Bobby Yakuza for the super thanks. Thank you, sir. He's fashionably late. Hello, all. Bobby Yakuza, you are one of those guys that can be late. It's your thing. Own it. We appreciate it. Thanks for being here. James UQB's been using the Surpass at groceries. Hey, I used it when I had it to hit that 15K. I really value those free night certificates, and I think anybody who has the Business Hilton or the Surpass should hit that 15K. When you add in that 3 times and other, it looks not great, but add a $1,200 hotel room on top of that 3X, and then do the math. Might change the way you think about it. But Luke, you wouldn't pay $1,200, so it's not worth that. Stop it. David Williams says Wells Fargo 2,500 bonus is super easy if you have 250,000 in securities. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not in a position to move around securities, but if you are able to do that, then you have a lot of options. And it's probably a good time to plug RJ Financial's other channel, Run on the Bank. He'll give you a lot of different opportunities if you want to move money around. So check out his channel and his second. Oh, Keith S says that Amex told him that the authorized user will get lounge access. So the 2 passes. Well, I mean that's great. Never hurts to ask, I guess. Keith S says the worst thing about credit card YouTuber is Adam J. I haven't gotten a whole lot of Adam J type comments in my YouTube career. He and I haven't had too many people say things, and I'm kind of at the point now where if somebody, I had one guy comment on a random video. Was very critical of my video. He didn't like the fact that I asked you to subscribe and like. He didn't like the fact that I included personal experiences before I went into the nuts and bolts of whatever I was talking about. And he was just really overly critical. And I was thinking, man, you just watched a free video. So I'm not gonna lie, I deleted a lot of those just to get them out of my headspace. But I don't get too many bad comments. Now, if you are going to make fun of me or something, trust me, those aren't negative. If they're funny, they're funny. I've been called some really strange things, and like I tell my wife, people say I look like somebody, and she dies laughing. She loves it. So that's not negative. So if you got some shots to fire, go ahead and roast me a little bit if you want. I don't mind. I probably shouldn't ask for people to do that though. Rizwan Khan, I would say worst thing is being able to apply for cards we want or need for review because of rules like 524. Um, Yeah, I'm not a big fan of 524, but people are starting to really put a play on that and saying, "Oh, no, it's actually really good for you." All right. Does 524 rule apply for authorized users and or account managers? I'll answer that with an example. I'm way over 524. Um, and my wife is an authorized user on most of my cards. So when we have a plan for her and we're going through chase cards right now for her, she normally gets denied because she's an authorized user on so many cards. When she calls and says, "No, I'm just an authorized user, I'm not financially responsible for that card," she gets approved. So being an authorized user may trigger that 524 algorithm and get you initially denied, but you can call and fix that really easy. And she's done it so many times now. She just, I guess I have to call him for 5 minutes. So, yeah, like James, you says, it does not apply, but it may trigger that denial. Let me see here. Oh, SoCal Skater put me in Sebi category. I'm not Sebi category, man. Sebi is the guy I started watching that got me into this and got me really learning about the game. So Sebi's a big deal, and we met Sebi in Las Vegas, which again, that's really weird. Sebi to me is a really big time player, and I contacted him to maybe think about coming to the creator meetup in Vegas, and he showed up, and he was our feet guest. So I'm a big fan of Sebi. I appreciate your compliment, SoCal Skater. Thank you, JP Buffett. Subs 2C was debating on getting a Hilton or Marriott as its next card for dedicated hotel cards. I'll turn it over to the audience, you guys. What do you guys think? Hilton or Marriott as far as your next card? Me personally, I don't think there's a better hotel card than the Hilton Aspire. But I do think there are some really good Marriott cards. This is how I rate them, sub 2C. This is how I categorize them. Marriott has the best properties, my opinion, and the most. Hyatt has the best redemption value and highest status tier. That's debatable. But Hilton has the best credit cards. So that's how I put it. And for me, the best credit cards generally went out because Hilton has a ton of properties. They have a ton of great properties. And I like to do award stays. So I spend on my Hilton credit cards. Wong Way Travels made it. What's up, Wong Way? That's such a cool name. I really do like it. Um, and Keith says Sebi is a goat. Sebi's big league. Sebi, and for being such a big time dude, he's really down to earth, cool guy. He's legit. I mean, he's a legit, genuine, good person. Yeah, Keith S says Marriott status is lame. I agree with that. Let me go to the the community post here and see if we have some more questions. Matt Clausen. I haven't seen him here tonight, but he is another creator. Check out Matt Clausen's page, his YouTube channel. I mean, what's the next issuer you'd love to see get into the transfer partner space after Wells? What do you think could happen with increased competition? Right off the top of my head, I think um, there's not very many that aren't in the transfer partner space. Bank of America, which let's not even talk about Bank of America unless you have that preferred rewards. It's not even a, it's a not even worth talking about. Let's talk about U.S. Bank. If U.S. Bank created a credit card program where the cards pulled points and had transfer partners, you would have you would have some serious hitters. You would be getting a lot of 5X categories. The US Bank Cash Plus is one of my favorite cards ever. 5% cash back on utilities. Yes, please. The no annual fee card that altitude, uh, whatever it is, 4 times. Oh, that's awesome. You have the blue altitude card that gets 4 times on gas. So you could put together a really nice setup. Not even talking about the altitude reserve. And I think that's a big time card. I think it's a bit underrated. But I think if you did put those points and you were able to pull them together and maybe redeem them at 1.5 with the premium travel card, the altitude reserve, US Bank would be a huge hitter in this game. And with more competition, I think you might squeeze a player out, and I think the rest would have to really step their game up. Um, so yeah, US Bank, and I think competition is always going to be good for us. I do think we are in the golden age of credit card rewards right now. I don't think it'll ever get better than it is right now, unless it's very recently, like very, soon it might get better. But I think this is a golden age where we have so many options and so many opportunities to just collect tons of points and do really well for ourselves. Sub 2C says, do I think Chase Sapphire Reserve is due for a revamp? I've got another question on here about the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I'll talk more about that here in a minute. Dugraw says, new Aspire versus new Surpass. Which kind of person is better for each? That's a good question because I think the Surpass really throws down the gauntlet. And this is what I mean by that. The new Surpass says, you're going to stay at my hotels and I'm going to reward you for it. If you don't stay at my hotels often, you're not going to get these rewards. So I think it really, I am the one true God. So it's you can't you can't worship false idols with the new Hilton cards. You need to be committed to Hilton if you want to hold these fairly expensive Hilton credit cards. Now, is that you, or do you want to have some allegiance to 4 different programs? I think the new Hilton cards really force you to commit to Hilton. Now, for those of us that are Hilton primary anyway, um, I think that the changes are good. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with my Hilton setup yet. So, I'll answer that question with what I do in the future. And I got a lot of thinking to do about that. Great question, though. But I do think the Aspire is for the same person. I think if you're going to stay at 2 Hiltons a year, which that can't be hard, the people who say, I can't find a resort, I'll find one for you. Pretty easy. Go to South Florida. If you're not going to South Florida once a year, why are we doing this? Come on. Me and Chad will be at the Conrad in South Florida in July if you want to come see us. Probably be a couple other guys there, like Rod from Points Blank Travel. So if you want to see some old men drinking pina coladas with no shirts on, come meet us at the Conrad in July. It'll be a blast. Wong Way Travels. I don't think I answered your question yet, Wong Way. So I haven't gotten to it yet. Ricardo Torres, do you think that the new bill that this new bill with credit card rewards, I'm not at all concerned about it. Big banks make a lot of money off us. We think we're doing well, but they are doing very, very well with our behavior. And big banks have a huge influence in politics. Shocking. So I'm not worried about that at all. I don't even listen to it when people talk about it. Yeah, Jay from the Bay says, just do Vegas twice a year with your Hilton Aspire and your money, and you don't even know it. I'm not sure which movie that is, but somebody should remember the quote. Leo Prieto, 74, longtime viewer of the channel, longtime friend of the channel. He says, here's something weird that happened to me yesterday at the Delta Sky Club in Minneapolis. He tried to pay for his son's guest pass with his Amex Platinum, and the lady said he had to pay for it with an Amex Delta Reserve. Now, this is the first time I've ever heard about that or anything like this, because obviously the Amex Platinum is for those things. It triggers the credit. So he said that he visited a Delta Sky Club and they wouldn't take the American Express Platinum for a guest entry. It had to be a Delta card. Let's keep our eyes and ears open for anything like that happening in the future. And let's hope he's the only one that he got some misinformed Sky Club person. Cheeseballer 1997 says, since it's Veterans Day, this seems appropriate. He's active duty Army and he has a lot of Amex and Chase cards with the annual fee waived. He's got all the heavy hitters. If you were still active duty, how would you maximize having those annual fees waived? Cheeseballer, if I was active duty and I was going to be, and I was a lifer and I was going to be on active duty for the foreseeable future, I'd get all of them. Amex lets you have 10 charge cards, what they used to call charge cards. I might have 10 platinum cards. I would take advantage of it because I've been active duty and I think you deserve any benefit you can get while you're on active duty. So if American Express and Chase and these other issuers will waive your annual fee for being on active duty, take full advantage of it. Get as many high annual fee cards as you can keep track of and you can make use of. But have an exit strategy. If you're going to be around 20 years, then you don't have to worry about it right now, because I'm sure in 20 years they're going to start wanting to charge you annual fees anyway. But if you are active duty with your annual fees waived, man, take advantage of it. Nerd out and get a spreadsheet with the list of all your cards and how to get the full value of them, and just get hundreds and thousands of dollars of value with no annual fees. And if you're on active duty, you may have some unique opportunities to travel. Take advantage of that. Khan says, is it the same with reserve duty? No, it's not. It's not the same with reserve. If you are a reservist and you've been called to active duty, you may want to contact them to see if you can get an annual fee waived. You probably have to fax them, or not fax. That's back in my day, fax. You may have to email them a copy of your orders or something like that. But reserve will not be treated the same way as an active duty military person. But yeah, man, if you get the fees waived, get all of them. Pablo Uranga. That's a cool name. Hey, Luke, what would you say is the best international redemption flight for a family of 4? One of them is a lap infant. They're in Canton, Ohio. So they can fly out of Detroit. I think that's Toronto, JFK, or Chicago. He's got the Capital One Venture X, if that matters. If you want to go cheap, do what's this Iberia Air from Chicago to Madrid, business class. I think it's 34,000 Iberian Avios money. If you want to go to Paris, do Air France JFK to Paris. You should be able to get a deal around 55,000 for you and the wife. I think the lap infant will be free, and I think the other child will be half that. So check out Iberia. Check out Air France. I'm not familiar with a bunch of redemptions from Toronto, but yeah. And what was the other one you said you could fly out of? Chicago has the most, as far as I know, Chicago has the most international flights out of any airport in the United States. So they have tons of deals. Detroit, try Virgin Atlantic from Detroit to Amsterdam for 50,000 Virgin Atlantic miles and $6, and Delta One. So those are 3 you can try out. I really want to do the Madrid, Chicago to Madrid and Iberia. That's a cheap one. Off peak 34,000 Avios. You have Capital One miles, so you may have to transfer Avios from Qatar to Iberia, but that's fairly easy work. But there's 3 of them. Lucas Larson says, Uncle Luke, let's go. Yes, sir. Let's go. Keith asks, do you get the subs if you're active duty? Yes, absolutely. Make sure you get their highest sub. Yeah, that's a good point. Keith S just dropped a gem on you. If you're getting all those cards, make sure you're getting all the subs possible. So review the rules of each issuer and get as many of the subs, and try to time them to get the highest sub you can. The Traveling Hatter asked me, Luke, have you ever flown Qatar Airways? He's flying to Qatar next month using Hilton points. That's a super interesting redemption. I'm curious of the specifics. How many Hilton points did it take? I have flown Qatar Airways. I flew Qatar Q Suites from Chicago to Dubai through Doha, Qatar. Best business class seats in the air. Qatar Airways is money. They're great, really solid redemptions with American Airlines and the Avios. But Qatar Q Suites, amazing. Service, amazing. Hard product, soft product. Uh, when you fly from Chicago to Dubai, the leg of the flights from Doha, Qatar to Dubai is only like an hour and a half, but they put you in first class. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but when they put you in first class and you hit Doha Airport, now you have access to the Al Swahif first class lounge, which is next level crazy. Huge water fixtures, sit down dining, showers, big time luxury. I think it's that Al Swahif, and I'm not very good at pronouncing those names, so don't murder me in the comments. But yes, Qatar Airways, big time. But yeah, I'm really interested in how many Hilton points it took to fly that. I'm, but you can rack up a lot of Hilton points, so maybe it makes sense. Okay, Keith S says JFK to Madrid is the same rate on Iberia, probably a little bit shorter, a little bit easier. And a lot of people talk smack about JFK. I like JFK just fine. Guys, we have a special guest. We have a special guest today.
I kind of forgot.
Come up, say hi.
Hello.
He has like 4 teeth left. So let me see the bottoms.
14.
So the tooth fairy is working overtime on Charles. Why are you making that face?
Oh no.
Smile. All right, Charlie. Thanks for showing up. You got anything to say to the guys? Tell the guys where you want to go next.
China.
Say it louder.
China.
He wants to go to China. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for stopping by. I think we're going to take him to Hong Kong. So if anybody has any tips or opinions about Hong Kong and 7 or 8 year olds, let me know, because I think we're going to start teaching the boy Mandarin. You want to speak Chinese?
Hola.
He says hola. Okay, we got some work to do. All right, but back to
I don't even know if that's Chinese.
it's Spanish. But thank you. Hey, close that door. So yeah, JFK to Madrid, same rate. I would really, I think that's a great trip for young kids. A lot of culture, a lot of good food, great weather. Keith S says 81 people in the live stream. Everyone hit the like button. That is a lot of people. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. Yeah, John says the boy is a hockey player in the making. He's losing a lot of teeth quickly. Really exciting. We just had his parent teacher conference, and I never heard a teacher say so many good things about a boy. So he's making me a little insecure. I have to raise my game up a little bit just to be on his level. USA to Haneda, first class via Virgin is 87,000 points. That's big time. Is that on Delta, Long Way, or is that on that's on ANA? I'm guessing. Oh, or okay. Keith says, does he get MR points or UR points from the tooth? He gets like I actually have a couple. Tooth Fairy I think the Tooth Fairy next time might give him $3, which is, I think, is a lot for a tooth when he's going to lose all of them. But no, he gets plenty of MR and UR points. The boy is very well traveled. And you guys have heard me talk about that before. I think that's really important. Hong Kong is nice. They speak English. It's very modern, like New York City. Long way, my man. I think, if the boy wants to go to Hong Kong, I think we're going to, and there's a Disneyland in Hong Kong. I think we're going to do it, man. I'm going to have to start researching it. Is it possible to have checked bags on a positioning flight continue to an international flight if they're the same alliance? So, Travis, the Lionheart, I can't tell you 100% one way, but I can tell you what I just did. I flew United to Washington Dulles, and my flight was going to be Air France to Paris to Prague. So different alliance. And I had to go get my bag and recheck it. So that's not something I have experience doing. When we went to Germany this summer, we didn't check bags. And we had a positioning flight in a different alliance, but we didn't check bags. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I, you can call. Um, every time I've asked, I've been told they can't marry those itineraries for the luggage. So that makes it some difficulty when scheduling it. So you have to schedule at least an extra hour or so to go get the bag and then recheck it. And man, that could be a difference maker in making that flight. So it is tough. It's a great question. If you find out the answer definitively, please let me know. Carla says she likes. Thank you, Carla. Wong Wei ANA. Okay, so Wong Wei, I want to book that. I want to do that redemption, that specific one you're talking about, very soon. I haven't had the time to really dive into the availability. So when I do, I'm going to book that for sure. And for me, Japan might even be a solo trip because I don't know anybody that wants to go with me. So if any of you guys want to meet me in Tokyo, let me know. John Corbett would go to Hong Kong just to lounge hop. Yeah, you're right. Sebi's recent video. Yeah, I saw Sebi's video in Hong Kong at the lounges. That's an aspirational trip. John with the super thanks. Thank you, sir. He's going to pay for Charles's first Mandarin lesson. That's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if anybody in this village I live in speaks Mandarin, but I'm thinking we might start with Spanish. We're going to Mexico in just a few days, and I think that boy can pick up Spanish pretty easy. He's already saying hola. So, thank you, John. Appreciate you. James Yu says Hong Kong's famous for their food. It's delicious. He'll like it. He's not a very adventurous eater, but when in Rome, right? Wong Wei got the ANA redemption in May of 2024. Yeah, we're going to be in Hawaii May of 2024, which wasn't my idea, but that's where they wanted to go. Tooth inflation is very real. You're right, sir. Keith S will meet me in Japan. Cool. So that's my Navy buddy, through his scheduling and different things, says he might not be able to do the aspirational trip in 2024. So I'm going to go somewhere, and I think I'm going to open it up to the audience and see who wants to do like a really crazy meetup, like Tokyo, something like that. I think that would be the pinnacle of the YouTuber career. If you can meet somebody in Tokyo, that's big league. Michael Williams was stationed in Yokosuka, right? Yokosuka. Yeah, I had a roommate in my A school that just got off a ship in Yokosuka. So really cool. Michael Williams, did you enjoy it there? PM says squad meetup in Japan. Michael Yu, QB, speaks Mandarin. All right. We may have to hit you up for some Zoom lessons with this boy. I told him Mandarin is one of the most valuable languages to learn for somebody his age, I think. Yeah, we'll see. Because he is going to be a world traveler and going to be involved in something. I don't know. He's going to make. We got to figure out a way for him to make money. Crammy Davis says 160,000 American Airlines miles round trip. To Japan on JAL. Yeah, I do mention that in a video I have coming out Monday. As a reason why somebody would start moving towards American Airlines, as a maybe focus on them, because that is a great redemption. That's first class too, by the way, not business class. That 160 is a big league first class. Jay from the Bay says, let's do Tokyo. Let's do it. Let's think about it. Let's think like fall 2024. You got the wheels turning now, man. I think this might be a big league. This might be a big league trip. Tokyo in the fall. That just feels good. Which island for your Hawaii trip in 2024? Well, this summer, we did Oahu. We just did the Honolulu, the Waikiki Village Resort. Took a car around the whole island. 2024, we're doing Maui. My wife and my son really wanted to go back to Hawaii. Gonna admit, I did not feel the magic of Hawaii, but I am willing to give it another shot to see if I feel it the second time for sure. Keith S is going to be globalist next year. Good. RJ asked, do I like solo trips? I always want to share the experience with friends. When I do solo trip, I regret it sometimes. Um, no, I don't. eh, It depends on the time frame because this Prague trip we had some issues where um, my son didn't like his dad being gone very long. So for me, it's more the time thing. If I can do a 2 or 3 day solo trip, easy. Going to Tokyo solo, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't really answer it. I do like to share these experiences with other people, though, especially people that are into that sort of thing. And my wife has really become a big time traveler. She loves to travel, has a bunch of spots picked out where she wants to go. So I don't think I'm going to be a ton of solo stuff. David Williams says Tokyo is horribly humid in the summer. Well, we're going in October, baby. Long Way Travels, October 2024. I think that's a great idea. I think let's pencil it in. Don't quite make it permanent. Let's use a pencil so we can erase it. But Japan, October 2024. What hotel chain are we doing? I don't know, man. I don't want to flesh it all out just yet. Let's take our time. Let's do some research and we got a couple months to figure it all out. And I'm kind of excited about it already. Let me get back to the community post and see what we have here. Uh, William Pinkett, what card have you been considering next? You've had almost all of them. I have not really been considering getting a new card lately. I did see one card that I thought was interesting, but it doesn't make any sense for me, and it's the Morgan Stanley Amex Blue Cash Preferred. Uh, it just you can get the Blue Cash Preferred and the Morgan Stanley Blue Cash Preferred. And in my opinion, if you're a cash back guy and you spend a lot at the grocery store, that's a great duo. Doesn't make sense for me because I'm not interested in cash back or the card. But I thought it was really, really interesting. But as far as new cards for me, I'm not looking for anything right now. Really looking to get under 524 and then maybe make some moves. Cesar Joel is an Army veteran, retired Army. He's not on here, but let's all collectively use our brains and wish Cesar Joel a happy Veterans Day. He says, second best travel card and second best hotel card in the game. Number one are obviously the Platinum and the Aspire. Okay. For me, just for me, and we all have our styles and our ways of traveling. Second best hotel card in the game. Man, he put me on the spot. That's really tough. I'm going to go with the IHG. Is it the Premier Rewards? Either the personal, the consumer, or the business. They're almost the same thing, but I have the business version, and I really, really like it. So I'm going to put the IHG above any Hyatt cards. You guys know I'm not a big fan of Hyatt cards. I don't think they're at all very good. And I think IHG is a great secondary program or even tertiary, but it's a great backup plan. Second best travel card, man. You got to go. Really, I think it comes down to the Venture X versus the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I'm gonna hate doing it, but I'm going Chase Sapphire Reserve. It's too versatile. It does too many different things. You might not clearly get the whole annual fee back every year, but I think there's a lot of options to do that. I'm gonna go Chase Sapphire Reserve, second best travel card in the game. Tokyo's a great solo travel city. Lots of eating options. Let's fly in Wong Way. Come on, man. We're all going to do business or first class. Absolutely. We're not going to fly to Japan in economy. We're not my buddy Dino. We don't live like that. We don't deserve that. October I live a very privileged life where my wife allows me to go places once in a while by myself, even Vegas, even Czech Republic, but I am not going to tell my wife I'm going to Bangkok with a bunch of guys. No way. Bangkok is out. Sorry. Yeah, James Yu says he has the IHG Premier. It's a keeper card. It's a good one. Dugras Reports asks if I found any more good uses for Chase hotels or the Chase points. I have a Choice Hotel redemption coming up in January, and I've talked about it, but I can't kind of go over it. And this is why. My dad's 70, and I'm taking him on a surprise trip. And it includes a Choice Privileges redemption. And he doesn't watch the channel, and he's not in the points and miles game. But I don't want to have content out there that someone can maybe show him or someone can ruin the surprise. So I really want to talk about it, but I'm not going to until I get back from this trip. And it's going to be different than I think what other people have talked about. So yeah, I've seen some redemptions. Here's the thing about the Choice rewards, guys. Choice Privileges rewards. If a regular room is, say, 20,000 points, there's a great chance that every room is 20,000 points, all the way up to an 11 or 1,200 square foot suite will be the same price in points. Sometimes that's going to be a big time redemption. Keith S. says the CSR gives you full insurance coverage on one-way flights. That's a big deal because some only do round trips. Yeah, and he says most other travel cards require a booking round trip. That's a big deal because personally, I book almost exclusively one ways. Keith says, didn't The Hangover Part 2 take place in Bangkok? Yeah, guys, 46 years old, too old to be in a hangover movie. So, and plus I'm not, hey, mama, going to be in Bangkok for a week. We'll see you later. Not happening. I can go to Vegas. I can go to Czech Republic, but I know there's a limit there somewhere, and I'm not interested in pushing it. You mentioned Chase being your third credit card issuer of choice. Which is your second? Yeah, I mean Citi. I like Citi. I do American Express, and I really like Citi's setup. So yeah, I mean my second is, you know what, I may have to retract that. I use Chase cards a lot more than Citi, but I would say I use American Express primarily, and everything besides Chase secondary, and then Chase tertiary, like Navy Federal, U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo. What do I have in my? Maybe a couple other things like the AAA, Visa I have for groceries. So yeah, I mean, I have to retract that. It's not my third choice. It's probably my second choice actually, and I keep moving towards maybe making it primary. If American Express raises those fees, we're going to have the decision to make. It's going to be tough. The Dollar Man with a super thanks. He's helping out the Tooth Fairy. Thank you, sir. The Dollar Man, much appreciated, and I appreciate all you guys. Gideon says, would love to hear you ask about Bangkok, though. Just a bunch of vets are going to, yeah. Hey, mama, a bunch of us old dirty sailors are going to go to Bangkok for 10 days. You don't care, do you? Yeah. No, thanks. I'm not interested in that conversation, which there wouldn't be a conversation anyway. Maybe like a side eye. Can you please do a leading hotels redemption stay and give us your experience? I'm planning on the Premier and looking to do a what's an LHW stay? Not sure what that means. Leading hotels. Okay, I'll look into them. I have not done much research at all with that one, so we'll see. John says he thinks Citi's a great setup for domestic road trip vacation. You're right. Citi is, but Citi also has some sleepers, man. They've got Turkish Miles and Smiles, and and they have cash. You can You get some cash out from those miles, those thank you points. I think City has a great program. Let me get back to the community post because there are a few more. Leading hotels in the world. Yeah, thanks. I knew it. It just slipped my mind. So Juan Garcia, okay, this KRS 1905. If you could build a Chase Inc. reserve card, higher version of the Chase Inc. preferred, what would it offer and how much would it cost? A business travel card to compete against the Business Platinum and the VX business card. So a Chase Inc. reserve, a Chase premium travel card. I would build this off of the Sapphire Reserve. I would raise the annual fee to $650, which no one would like, and we would all cry about it. But I would get rid of the GoPuff and all those silly credits, and I would add status with IHG and Hyatt and United. All those are partners with Chase. I think they could get it done for the business traveler. So you have airline status with United, which I don't fly United much, but they're a partner with Chase. Status, maybe platinum status with IHG, something big, something that people would really, a business traveler would really look at, and maybe Explorist with Hyatt. I would do that, use the same, not the same multipliers as the CSR, but maybe add in a times 3 on office supply stores, times 3. How about times 3 on gas? We put gas as an actual multiplier with Chase. We do that, $650. I'm getting it. And if I had more time, I would build it out in more details, but I think you base it on the CSR. You add gas, you add office supply stores. Maybe you add cell phones as well. Yeah, add cell phone protection, add a priority pass with the restaurants, add the Chase lounges, status with United, Hyatt, and IHG, and you got a money card. You got a big time card there. Cesar Joel is in the house. He says, "Go Army." It's today's celebrating Veterans Day, so we can go Army as well. Go Army. My father and grandfather both served in the Army. I was kind of like the black sheep that went into the Navy when nobody in my family had ever even seen a ship before. So kind of changed the trajectory, but still love the Army guys. And Cesar Joel, we all like Cesar. Check out his channel if you haven't. He has the best Spanish-speaking credit card YouTube channel on the planet. It's great, and he's a cool, cool dude. Miles and Smiles must be the flight to. Yeah, you're right, Michael Williams. You Miles and Smiles in Bangkok. If anybody's ever played Smiles, it's a game. I'm not going to talk about it. All right, let's get back okay. James you says, "Thank you for answering my questions. Looking forward to the next video." Okay, see you later, James. Back to the community post. Juan Garcia built adding Marriott as a transfer partner. Standard transfer 1-to-1. Don't think it's as good as other transfer partners like Hyatt or American Airlines. What are my thoughts? I don't have any thoughts. Yeah, I don't. Transferring points to Marriott is tough because they're just not worth that much. And I say that, and I'm just speaking about my experience. I got way more value from Marriott's program in the lower redemption tier, the Fairfield Inn, the AC Hotel. I got a lot of good value from those lower end or more economical properties, and I just don't stay at those properties that much. The Ritz Carltons and the W's, I seem to have gotten less value from Marriott points with those higher end places. So I don't have a built card. I don't rent, and I don't think a whole lot about that card when something happens, but I do agree it's a must have for renters. And I do agree that even if you're not a renter, it's a big time travel card. Where are we at here? Jimmy James, longtime friend of the channel. What's your Amex Hilton setup going to be given the changes? I answered that earlier. I don't know what it's going to be. Right now, I hold the the Hilton business card, and 2 Aspire cards. Is that going to change? Man, I don't know. I have to. I have a little while before I have to worry about it. I think until July, but man, I have not um, made a decision, and I'm gonna have to do some homework because that's a lot of money in annual fees. KS Princess. I think she's a relatively new viewer. I've seen her comment a couple times, but I think she's relatively new. Ideas for a quick warm weather getaway in February for points. Almost everybody that watches this channel is probably screaming that I'm going to say South Florida. And I'm going to say South Florida. There's never a bad time. And she says quick warm weather getaway. I'm not sure where you're flying from, but for me, it's 2 hours and 5 minutes, and I'm in South Florida. And I don't know if you can go wrong with South Florida. If you want to do the more quiet, uh, maybe higher end thing, go to Fort Lauderdale. You go down to Miami, you're getting the Latin music. You're going to get Cesar Joel dancing and playing the calypso drums. Drinking too much, you're going to get mojitos and all that fun stuff in Miami. The beach is everywhere. If you want to be in between, you're going to go to Hollywood or Sunny Isles or something like that. So you kind of have a lot of options there. My wife wants to do the Gulf Coast of Florida, Naples or Fort Myers Beach or something like that. But I'm going to say South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. A lot of great redemptions, a lot of great flights there. Easy peasy. And you might run into us. Me and Chad and Rod from Points Blank Travel are going to be down there in July. Of course, you're going in February, but I could be down there in February. I don't have anything planned for February. And like Cesar said, you can't go wrong with Miami or South Florida. It's nice. Duncan says, I have 2 American Express Business Platinum cards and American Express Platinum. My designated airline is American Airlines for both cards. My airport hub, O'Hare, is both United and American Airlines. Can I make one card American Airlines and another card United? 100% yes. I had a business gold and a business platinum back when they both had the airline bonus, and I had Delta for one and American on the other. But yeah, you have 2 business platinums. You can have a different preferred airline on each of them because you want to get that 25 to 35% bonus. And that's a good benefit that's rarely talked about. But yes, sir, you can have it on different. Johnny Appleman says, what's your squat PR? If you guys don't know, PR is personal record. In the raw category, which means not wearing equipment, my goal was a 600-pound squat, and I did not ever do that. What's my PR? It was close. I know it was close, and I don't know exactly. I want to say probably 585. I did not ever hit 600, and I have not tried anything close to that in a while. I did order a new belt, and I'm really thinking about training for another competition really soon. So maybe I'll hit that 600. We'll see. But I say 5. I think it was, I know it was, I did 575 in competition, but I may have hit 585. In my mind, it didn't matter unless it was 600. And I know I did not ever hit 600, which I do kind of regret. But Long Way Travels, if you're still here, here's your question. What is your credit card roadmap for 2024 and which cards am I getting? I'm not sure if Wong Wei's still here, but my roadmap for I don't do roadmaps. I know a lot of guys, especially the content creators, they like to portray themselves as these uh, heavy research and calculated strategists, and some of them are, and it's great. That's not my game. I don't think this is as serious as all that. I don't think it warrants the brain power and the time to have a real roadmap. So right now, I'm not getting cards. I think when 2024 hits, I will look at the landscape when I get the itch. I also build my credit cards a lot from what I want to do. If we're going to Japan, I need some ANA points or some Virgin Atlantic points. I need a big bonus to get that. If we're going to the Caribbean, I need American Airline points or British Airways points. So yeah, maybe I'm holding out on. See, I have the Wells Fargo autograph. If those transfer partners look right, we'll see what else they come out with. Maybe a business card from Wells Fargo if you can transfer those points over. The active cash is not a bad card either. If you can get the $200 bonus, and that if that's 20,000 points, that might be an option. I'm really not interested in 2% cash back cards at the moment, but I also don't have a consumer credit card that earns 2 travel points per dollar right now. I don't think. I have a business card. I have the Blue Business Plus, but if the active cash turns into a two top, I have the Capital One Venture X that gets 2 times everything. So yeah, right now I'm in a holding pattern for 2024. My major concerns for 2024, I have all my travel booked until the end of July. So right now, the only thing credit card associated, I'm really trying to plan. Yeah, Keith says, like Keith S says, the Venture X is 2 times. The only thing I'm really have on my brain is that fall 2024 trip that's most likely not going to be a family trip. So we've already talked about that tonight. We're all going to Tokyo. So maybe that's what if there's a card I need to make that stay in Tokyo better, maybe that's what I'm looking at. And John's going to be in Tokyo. So I don't know. We'll see. I think with Tokyo, we're looking at the Conrad or we're looking at one of the higher end Hyatts. So, maybe something that'll help me reach those goals. Yeah, we're not going to Bangkok ever. Okay, my man 911 Evox. You guys know him. He's a longtime friend of the channel. He says if he shreds his American Express Hilton Aspire card, would I tear up? Man, I don't know. Uh, I- no, because I can understand that card not working for everyone. And I think I've heard the term hotel free agent tossed around quite a bit lately. So if you are a hotel free agent, I don't think you need a $550 hotel card. Do I think it's the best hotel card on the market? Yes. Do I really like hotel cards? Also, yes. But I'm not everyone. Um, and I think there is a case for someone saying, hey, I'm only using transferable currencies. And if it's a hotel, I'll probably just use um, the actual travel portal from those transferable currencies because there's benefits to that. You earn a lot more transferable currencies. So I can see it. But no, I don't think I'll tear up. I won't be very excited for you. Um, but it's your journey, man, and I support it if you want to tear up cards. Marcus Young comments a lot on the channel, friend of the channel. What are popular places you have no interest in visiting? First off, man, service thought right off the top of my head. Um, I don't ever plan on going to Bali or the Maldives. I think those are Instagram places, and those are Bali is probably for young people that don't really want to work. They want to play out this fantasy of being, I work online 1 day a week. I'm not going there. And Keith S. Bangkok, not going to Bangkok. Um, but Bangkok, at least with Bangkok, I can make a case for it to be interesting. I really like the Muay Thai kickboxing. I really like the like the statues and the jungles and the monkeys, and they have some unreal beaches. So if my wife would go to Asia, I'd take her to Bangkok. I'd take well, maybe not Bangkok, but Thailand. I'll definitely take her there. Um, Bangkok's touristy. On the topic of touristy, turns out I'm a tourist. So most of those things that people don't like about touristy places, I don't mind. Yeah, you got to go to Phuket. Yeah, and see, my wife doesn't want to go to Asia, um, and it's not really a rational opinion or want for her. She just does not want to go to Asia for anything. So probably not go to Bangkok. He had a second part to that question. How many inks do I have? How many inks have you heard of other people getting before they get rejected? I have the ink preferred on one business, one LLC. I have an ink preferred, an ink cash, and an ink unlimited. On a second LLC, I have an ink cash. I think that's it. I have 2 ink caches, an ink unlimited, and an ink preferred. So when I get under 524, I think I will pick up an ink unlimited, um, even if it doesn't have the all-time greatest bonus. The bonus is still going to be good enough to pick one up. And this is why I think that the 1.5 on the unlimited, I do talk a lot of smack about the Freedom Unlimited, but those 1.5x chase cards, I think someone mentioned, maybe it was a video I watched today, but the chase deals or the merchant offers or whatever you want to call them, the chase offers, there's a lot of 5x back on gas, a lot of 5% cash back on these different fast food restaurants or whatever. Those 1.5x cards from Chase can be used to get good value. And I definitely want to get the bonus on another ink card. How many have I heard people getting before they get shut down? I don't know. I've heard of people getting shut down, but not any specific cases that I can say, well, this guy got 9 and he got shut down. I don't know. I would think if you're canceling them, you could probably churn those for quite a while, though, if you're conservative and a little bit moderate and you space it out. Habasha Finance says he has over 16 credit cards right now, and it's just a big hassle. He's just going to get the CSR and only use one card. What do I think? I don't think this hobby is worth getting frustrated or taking up more time than you want to give it. I think there are people who use one card and get plenty of value, and it works out just fine for them. And I'll give you an example. I've heard people over and over say, well, I saw this guy pull out a platinum card and he used it for dining, and he's such an idiot. I saw him use a platinum card at Home Depot. So stupid. And I want to say, that guy with that platinum card has put $3 million through it this year. He doesn't care about your bonus categories. He doesn't care about, hey, you could get more with dining. This is a dude who has other priorities, and he's probably killing it as far as points and what he uses that platinum card for. So different strokes for different folks. If you want to use a CSR for everything, I think you're going to do just fine. You're not going to waste any time maximizing or optimizing. If it's not fun for you, don't do it. If it gives you a headache and it's a hassle, don't do it. Put everything on one card, and if you're a high spender, you're going to have plenty of UR points. No big deal, man. Let me see here. Jay Galdos says Hilton Aspire or Amex Platinum or both. I have both. I have 2 Aspires and a Platinum. I think if you're going to travel, do I think that's required? No. But I think I travel enough. I make a lot of use of both of them. So I like both. Do I see a world where I don't have any Hilton cards? Sure. Do I see a world where I don't have a Platinum card? Yeah, also sure. I mean, things change. It's whatever you're working with at the time. I think it's our last one on this community post. What are some great domestic redemptions for amazing hotels and experiences for families? 2 parents, 1 child. International is easier to get amazing value, and they prefer chase points. You know what? I think when you get down to it, any redemption you make is a great redemption. If you can go on vacation with your family and not pay a lot of cash for it, I think you're good. I think I agree with a lot of people that say we get caught up in this cents per point redemption value when we probably shouldn't. If I would base your redemptions on the quality that you get when you get there. If you're making memories and you're staying at the hotel you want, who cares what the cents per point is? On my channel, I like to do the videos that, hey, I got 8 cents per point for this redemption because it's interesting and I want to prove to people that they can do that. Do I think everybody should do that or even focus on that? No. But for me, it's fun. Um, so, I wouldn't worry about the exact cents per point and the value. The value is going to be kind of evaluated on your way home. If you're on your way home and you're smiling and you're completely tired and you just feel sated and like you did it right, then that's the value. And it's going to be different for everyone. Now we did have a couple more questions on this second community post, or actually we didn't. Okay, we're good. Make sure I got all these. I know I at least forgot like one of them. Um, but if you're going to ask me some great domestic redemptions for amazing hotels, go to a Conrad or go to a Waldorf Astoria, and don't, if you have status, don't get the first uh, room. Get the second upgraded room, and you you know what I'm thinking. If you have an Aspire, um, yeah, I would say if you're using rewards and you want to get the best redemption, use your rewards to book the exact hotel or the property you want. That's it, my best advice. Who cares what the cents per point is? Okay, we are done with the questions, guys. Um, Keith says he likes the lives. Guys, if you like the lives, hit the like button. I like doing the lives. Um, I think it gives us a really good opportunity to do the back and forth. Um, and I mean, if I'm being honest, it's also easier than scripting out a video, sitting up here and trying to get a quiet house to record, edit a video. I like the lives. I want to do the lives consistently, and I haven't figured out if every 2 weeks is good or if I want to do even more than that. But I think let's plan on doing um, every other Thursday. I think it works out. Now, I also have to. Charles has got basketball now, so we're a basketball family right now. So I have to figure out what days are practice and the games. I think Wednesdays are practices, so it won't be on Wednesday because I do the dad thing. I'm definitely going to be at every practice, and so I think Thursdays at 7 o'clock every other Thursday. I think that might be good. And like I said, I really like having the crowd here. If you guys have anything you want to discuss, I'm game. I don't have a whole bunch of topics that are off limits. And I'm also someone who, if I don't know exactly the answer to your question, I'm not going to fake the funk and act like I do. I don't rent a bunch of cars, so I'm not an expert on the terms and conditions of every credit card when it comes to car rentals. I do know the ones that have primary rental insurance, and I do know the difference between some of those cards, such as the Inc. Preferred covers you for business trips. So if you can't justify that as a business trip, I might not use that as the first option. And Brad Groover coming in with the big time super thanks. He says we're killing it with the lives, and it's not me, it's you guys. I'm working off your energy and your comments. But Brad Groover, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Um, but yeah, so I think tonight, I think we had a really good live. We got an hour and 44 minutes. I think we've run the course, and I'm going to sign off here in a minute. But before I do, I want to say what I always say. Um, First off, happy Veterans Day for any of you guys that have served your country or been around or supported anybody that has done that. And I also appreciate every one of you guys. So we've got 71 people on here. If anybody has a last minute question, fire it away. If not, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to go ahead and sign off and uh, get ready for bed because I'm an old man and we go to bed early. Cesar says, great live. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Cesar. Go Army. Go Navy. More. Crammy Davis says, favorite redemption you ever had? Well, I think I'm going to beat it. And this goes back to my cents per point kind of philosophy. Greatest redemption I ever had. My wife has grown children, and they're grown now. But a couple years ago, they were grown, but still kind of living at home. So this would have been the last opportunity to get everybody together for a trip. So I took 6 of us to South Florida, and we stayed at the Gale, which is a Hilton. It's a Hilton property. I can't remember which kind of category it is, but it's a nice little place in South Beach. We flew Delta. We only stayed a couple days, but everybody was together, and just the look on my wife's face when she got to be with all her kids at the same time, maybe for the last time. Not the last time, but the last time on vacation, because when they get turned adults, they get super busy. And being in all our favorite place, South Beach. That was my best redemption, if I'm being selfless. If I'm really being honest, my best redemption might be Qatar Q Suites from Chicago to Dubai. Uh, Unreal redemption. Great value. Great product, soft product, hard product. Great experience. First time being in the Middle East. I recommend it to anybody. Qatar Airways, big time. Going to the Middle East for me, very interesting, very eye opening, very cool. I don't know if I'll go back, but I really like the fact that I did go over there and experience that. Okay, who we got here? Um, PM Japan, and the guys, listen, Japan 2024 October. Let's start thinking about it. We get enough guys over there. We can't not have fun. We can't have a lame time. And a lot of guys on this live stream and in this community will have enough Japanese knowledge that we're going to get some inside scoop on a lot of cool stuff. Wilfredo says Major League Baseball player Edwin Encarnacion opened the Hilton Garden Inn in Romana, Dominican Republic. Now, Cesar has been to the La Romana, Dominican Republic, has a lot of good things to say about it. Some Hiltons there as well. So that's a really good recommendation. I've heard it's great there. We're going to the Cayman in April, and that Dominican was like my second choice. Traveling Hatter says he wants to go fly to Qatar Q Suites. Do it, man. It's a great product. John says Japan's on the list. Yep. Cesar says Hilton La Romana. Great. October 18th to 25th, 2024, booked. What foods won't I eat in Japan? I'm not a super adventurous eater, so I'll try to get on board with some stuff, but probably not going to impress anybody with my eating. Samir just got back from Tokyo. Happy to help. Okay, guys. Think we have our agenda set forth. Huge Luke's Points and Miles meetup in Tokyo, October 2024. Let's have a section of these lives, maybe 5 or 10 minutes blocked off to talk about it, see what we want to do, and see some options. But for tonight, I'm going to sign off. And like I said before, happy Veterans Day. Thank a veteran if you see one today or tomorrow. And if you've stayed a long time or you're here now, I thank you and I appreciate every single one of you guys. Good night.